I'd like to tell you folks a story, a true story at that. Once upon a time, there was a man that lived in a very divided country. Now, the vast majority of people that lived within this country lived a very difficult life. And he became popular because he convinced these people that other people were responsible for their suffering. He pointed the finger and placed blame on certain groups of people, whether based on their race, their religion, or whatever it was he needed to in order to further push his own agenda. He played on the fears, the legitimate fears of his people. And out of that fear and out of being afraid, these people bought into whatever this man had to say simply because they felt like, right or wrong, that it was going to make their life better. He made a promise to them that he was going to rid their country of these evil people, that he was going to eliminate them from their society, that he would restore their country to its former glory, that he was going to make their country great again. He sold hate for hope, and people bought into it at a rate that is actually astounding and alarming. It's important to note also at this time that nobody in the world took this man seriously. They made jokes about it. They did cartoons and caricatures, and they did comical sketches and so on and so forth, because nobody believed that this man would actually be able to accomplish everything that he said he was going to do. That wasn't until he took power and began to systematically identify and detain these individuals. Now, I want you to lock inside your head who it is that you think that I'm talking about right now, because I'm going to digress for about 2 seconds. In comparison to countries around the world, the United States is still within our infancy. And like most children, we neglect to listen to the advice of our elders because we seem to know everything that it is that we need to know. And make no mistake about what's going on right now. We are currently embroiled in a great ethical battle, one where the truth seems to have an alternative and centuries of wrong seems to be righted by simply changing the face on a $20 bill. This battle is testing the very fiber of our foundation, and so many people are not picking up on that, and they are not realizing this. But in 1796, one of the founding fathers of this country, our first president of the United States, gave a warning. He gave a warning against hyper-partisanship and the involvement in foreign nations. George Washington was so fearful of political parties and so adamant against them that he was the only president in United States history, fact, not fiction, that did not belong to a political party. And matter of fact, in his farewell address, he made it a point to point that out. And he said that political parties would eventually divide this country so much that it would make this country so dysfunctional, our government so dysfunctional, that it would divide the people so badly that it would frustrate them to such a degree that they would open the door for a demagogue to rise to power. Now that is almost prophetic. History is factual. Alternative facts have no place in it. Two meteorologists can sit there and debate predictions on the weather for tomorrow, but it would be foolish of them to try to sit there and debate what the weather was like the day before. What I know is that I am tired. I am tired of being politically correct. I'm tired of arguing fictions with facts. I'm tired of being cursed out and called names simply because somebody cannot defend their argument logically, intelligently, and with respect. The fact that you sat on the wrong side of justice, or you are trying to argue on the opposite side of truth, or sitting on the opposite side of righteousness, is not my fault, nor is it my problem. I know that I hit my head to the pillow at night every single night in good conscience. On yours, I cannot speak intelligently on. But I do know also that I believe in truth and I believe in justice. And I know that people within this country are going to stand along with me. And I know that I would give my last full measure of devotion in order to defend it. Truth and justice. Now, flipping back to that story I was talking about. You locked in your head who I was talking about, right? You're pretty convinced as to who I was talking about? Was I talking about President Donald Trump? The answer to that was no. I was actually talking about the rise of power of one Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the mass genocide of the Jews, killing millions of people that would thrust this entire world into World War II. Do I think that we are going that way? Do I think that it could become that radical? I have absolutely no idea. What I know is that that history has already been written, and we are writing ours currently right now. So it's time for people to decide where their conscience lies on this. What I also know is, because I study history to a great degree, is that those who do not study history and those who do not know history are going to be doomed to repeat it. And it scares me. It, honest to God, scares me. So what I want to remind the American people is this fact, and it's the beauty of our country. So listen to me very carefully. The power of the people is more powerful than the people in power. This is your country. This is my country. We the people run it. Never let them forget who they work for. Teach a life.